Okay, so how about some more of January 3rd's first magazine here? Okay? So, this is Instant Inspiration, Jane's Secret to the Holiday Joy. Emmy and Golden Globe winning actress, artist, entrepreneur Jane Seymour is 70, shares her tips to a healthy, jolly, and worry-free season by Bonnie Siegler. Beloved Bond girl, Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman's, and CBS Be Positive star, Jane Seymour is many things. From an artist and philanthropist to a mom and grandmother, but this time of year, the stress of juggling all those roles takes a back seat to the reason for the season: love. I focus on the people I love and try to make everything else as easy as possible, Jane shares with First. After returning from filming Acorn TV's Harry Wild in Ireland for 5 months, Jane says this year she's doubling down on her goal to have a relaxing, blissful holiday. Her secret, being present in each moment. My mother survived being in World War II concentration camp, and she learned that truly living in the now is the key of happiness. She was still able to laugh and find the positives in the life up until she had a stroke at age 92, Jane shares. She taught me that the only thing you take with you when you pass is the love you've shared, and now is the perfect time to show people how deeply they are loved. Here's Jane's tips for feeling peaceful in the present no matter what. Melt a minnow pot, eating like this. Jane recently lost 14 pounds and credits her intermittent fasting and daily walks with helping her feel better than ever. I've reset my body, she says with a smile. My main meal is around 2 o'clock, which can be almost anything that I want. Yesterday I had mushroom ravioli made with fresh mushrooms and garlic, parmesan, and white truffle oil. I'm also a fan of healthy swaps. My new favorite side dish is boil cauliflower for 2 minutes, put in a blender, then salt and pepper and a bit of butter. It tastes just like creamy mashed potatoes, and it satisfies my craving. Her instant energy elixir, holiday tea. This time of year I have a herbal mint or peppermint tea, Jane says. 1 cup gives me so much more energy to get through the rest of my day. Inspire and uplift, handmade gifts. I get so much joy out of giving loved ones something that I've created, Jane shares. Maybe it's unique painting or a beautiful scarf, tote, or bag, or even pajamas. I'm constantly asking myself, what can I do to make that would be lovely and meaningful to me? Handmade gifts are the most precious because they have all these memories and love wrapped into them. You can make a piece of jewelry, a piece of art, or maybe even write a poem, and it will really make someone feel special. That's why I do my scarves. It creates this beautiful connection between me and that person I'm gifting it to. The Yuletide Worry Buster, create meditation. One of my biggest ways to release stress is to doodle. I even doodle with my friend when we all hang out, Jane says. I put out pens, paper, and doodle things, and people who think they're not artists come away with a technique that they didn't even realize they could do. It's great fun, and it's a real form of meditation. In fact, the rhythmic activity of spontaneous drawing, or doodling, has been shown to dramatically reduce the stress hormone and cortisol in just a few minutes. Instant Merry Maker, simple traditions. I love taking out all the old baubles as family, Jane says. We'll share a story behind each decoration. I'm not the only one to have an all silver tree, all gold tree, and all red tree. I love to look at a mix and match keepsakes, and I'm much more of the, oh yeah, we get to open up this box this year again type of person. The more personal, also the simple decor, the better. Jane also prefers a laid-back Christmas feast. People just bring food in order. I cooked a turkey from the grocery store. My daughter is an incredible baker, so she does desserts. This way we focus more on each other. Jane's latest heart-happy mission. Among Jane's many accomplishments in her life, she's most proud of her Open Heart Foundation, a nonprofit she founded to enrich the lives of women and children. Through COVID, we've been doing Zoom paintings and fundraising all over the world to help those who've been affected during that pandemic, she shares. I did a fundraiser a few days ago. We raised over $50,000, 100%, which goes to women and children we're supporting right now. Jane also teamed up with her daughter, Katie, to launch Young Hearts to app which helps people find volunteer opportunities, and has been selling her own art and jewelry through jtv.com to raise money. In the Open Heart Jewelry Collection, we're doing joy and serenity pieces, Jane says. The pieces let you attach whatever memories you want to it. It's how you process life, joy, pain, grief, and change. Donna, you turned the page too soon. The pieces let you attach whatever memories you want to it. It's how we process life's joy, pain, grief, and change. To learn more, visit janeseymour.com. Jane's Open Heart Jewelry Collection has new pieces that represent joy and serenity. Quick bits. It's the psychology news that matters to you. Found the connection to a deeper connection. Whether you're talking to a friend or a stranger, instead of broaching topics like what TV shows are you watching, try asking things like this. If you could see into the future, what would you want to know? Small talk may less awkward, but deeper questions strengthen the connection, say the University of Chicago researchers. The scientists found that the subjects underestimated how interested others were in hearing their true thoughts, and overestimated how difficult it would be to discuss more meaningful subjects, say the deeper conversation fostered closer friendships. The trick to being successful negotiation. Bidding for a car, condo, or even a piece of used furniture can be tricky. Do you lowball your first offer or bid so high that you know you won't be turned down? Scientists at the University of Technology, Sydney in Australia found that when people asked or offered slightly less or more than what they were willing to accept in bargaining game, they had a best chance of getting the good deal. The researchers say aiming too low can trigger negative emotions in the other party, turning them off to a deal, while overshooting ups the risk of paying more than the seller was willing to accept, so you feel cheated. 15% is how much of the time a person must fail in order to learn effectively. Nature Communications is the source. It says downtime strategy that improves your well-being. Stuck waiting in the hair salon? Resist scrolling on that phone and focus on your thoughts wandering through your mind. University of Arizona researchers found that when subjects used idle time to focus on their thoughts, it boosted their creativity, offered a respite from their busy world, and even made them feel as though they had a therapy session with themselves. The researchers say that it can be more powerful in observing thoughts, and learning to spend idle time focusing on them can lead to a better self-understanding. Key to being in a happy long-term relationship. Hollywood infers that spark equal love, but 2/3 of romantic couples start out as friends, say Canadian investigators, and that's a key to a happy union, since prior research shows that a close friendship is a top marker for successful long-term partnership. Didn't start out as friends? Well, you can still keep that bond strong by sending your partner playful texts, thanking him for all the small kindness or planning fun dates. How to silence a cyberbully. When you can't seem to agree with someone online comment and you want to respond and discuss, consider a private conversation versus commenting on their post or tweet. Listen to that, please. A survey conducted by researchers at University of Washington found that the folks preferred to have online disagreements, quote-unquote, privately via messaging, and that this strategy led to a more productive discussion. The scientists say that interacting online, more like we do in person with individual conversations, can encourage more caring exchanges that are coming to a mutual understanding, rather than the pile on the negative comments so often seen on social media. Okay, transform time tension into joy. 80% of us worry that we don't have time to get everything done, especially during the hectic holiday season. Here's easy ways to create more moments for yourself and those who matter most. Between chasing last-minute chores and hustling to get to work, project done before the holiday, you feel like time is running out, and that pressure to find more of the precious yet exclusive commodity is making you so anxious that you can't fully stay in the moment and enjoy that downtime you do have. You're not alone. Staggering 80% Americans feel that time poor, quote-unquote, reveals Ashley Williams, PhD, author of Time Smart, How to Reclaim Your Time and Live a Happier Life. Worrying that you don't have time enough has an incredibly strong negative effect on happiness, compared even to the stress of being unemployed, she explains. This tension can easily spiral into depression and burnout. And while it's easy to assume that we have fewer hours for leisure these days, that's not exactly true, notes Williams. We actually have more of the discretionary time than in the 1950s because our phones and devices always remind us that we're supposed, quote-unquote, to be doing what we're more aware of, quote-unquote, goal conflicts between work and personal time. Thankfully, the research proves that the old adage is true. Time is about quality, not quantity. It's not about how many hours you have, but how you feel about them. A more accurate predictor of happiness is how closely our actual days match our ideal days, observes Williams. Just read on for easy ways to help you enjoy the greatest gifts of time for people you love and the activities that make you happy. Are you overcommitted? Anxiety with chunking. You're already trying to enjoy the holiday brunch with your mother and sister, but there's a third party at the table, your phone. And you can't even check your work email. Even slight distractions increase stress and decrease working memory, says Williams. Free time can feel like a chore, then we're always thinking, what's next? If you start feeling overwhelmed, allay your stress with monotasking. Try to block out a 2-hour chunk of time each day for a single most important task without the distraction of your phone, suggests Williams. This strategy reduces the risk of burnout by 13% over 6 weeks and boosts productivity. Can't chunk your time, create a happiness to-do list. We're all about small windfalls of time, about 5 to 30 minutes each day, she says. Instead of using them for your work, do something for you. I jot down reminders on sticky notes like listen to a podcast, she says. Simply sprinkling that small feel-good task over a few days is shown to make us feel more control of our time. Procrastinating. Spark action with temptation. You know you should start that big church project before your holiday break, but you're so overwhelmed that you put it off. Yet the initial relief, procrastination, gives you its fleeting, only to be replaced by a more intense feeling of anxiety. The fix? Piggy bank. A reward onto the task you're avoiding. Called temptation bundling. This technique curbs procrastination, says Williams. Indeed, pairing a tough task with a treat, like a cup of caramel mocha, triggers momentum. In one study, folks who bundled an engrossing audiobook with a trip to the gym were more likely to stick with their new regimen than those who didn't try the temptation trick. Also smart, start in the morning. We often begin our easiest task to give a sense of immediate satisfaction, says Williams, but tackling our hardest one first, when we're more energized, increases success and lets us feel time-rich by boosting our confidence all day. Feeling stuck? Expand your time with awe. Lights? Check. Presents? Check. You're zipping through your to-do list, yet you feel numb. Why aren't I happier, you worrier, says Williams. Often we focus on doing everything perfectly. We lose sight of the bigger picture and we feel disconnected from the meaning of the holiday. When you feel stuck, let awe inspire you. The ancient Greeks named 2 types of time, linear and measured by the clock, called chronos, and an infinite experience measured by the waves and stars called kairos, explains psychologist Lucy Jo Palladino, Ph.D. What does this ancient insight have to do with our modern world? While the former shrinks our perspective, the latter broadens its triggering of the release of feel-good serotonin. When we experience that infinite, stress levels plummet and our sense of time widens, she says. Just heading out for a walk in nature or imagining the ocean sparks awe. When we open up to the bigger picture, we're able to savor small moments that make time so precious. Okay, moving forward. Fearing the future. Give your time away to others. As you watch the little ones in your family tear through their holiday gifts, there's no tomorrow. You can't help but think of your own tomorrow, but instead of hopeful, you feel dread. There's never enough time, you sigh. The holidays make the passage of time seem impossible to ignore, confirms Palladino. It's easy to feel wistful about things we haven't done, worried that we won't have enough time to spend with loved ones. It may seem counterintuitive, but when you feel a scarcity of time, the best thing to do is give it away. Studies show a very effective way to decrease your time stress is sharing your time with others, but be it by helping a colleague or volunteering in your own community, notes Whelans. That's because this signals your brains, if I'm giving my time away, I must have more of it. The empowering sensation of abundance moves both ways, backward and forward, alleviating regret over seemingly misspent time in the past as well as the dread not having enough of it in the future. In short, being generous with your time is the ultimate way to feel rich, is the most precious treasure of all. Okay. Let me see here why I marked this. I don't know, so we're going to skip it. Moving forward. Smart home solutions. Quick tips that save time and money. A secret to keeping dishes warm in transit. You promise to bring your green bean casserole to the holiday get-together, but there won't be an oven space to reheat it when you arrive. The solution? Line the bottom of a cardboard box with a dish towel. Then set the casserole dish on top. Then place a few more rolled towels around it. The cloths will keep the food warm until you arrive at your destination. Plus, it will mop up any spills that might happen in transit. How do you easily clean oven racks? Getting oven racks squeaky clean can be a hassle. Instead, try these simple scrub-free reader tricks. 58% like this idea. Place them in the bathtub with 4 to 6 dryer sheets, hot, warm, and some liquid soap, or dish soap, says Lisa Dixon. Softening agents in the sheets dissolve the grime. 42% love this idea. Place them in a resealable plastic bag with 1 cup of ammonia and let it sit overnight, says Vicki Riley. The ammonia will cut through the gunk. Reader tip, SOS for no tissue paper. One year I had a few gift bags left to fill when I ran out of tissue paper. Instead of running out to buy more supplies, I just gathered up all my leftover wrapping paper scraps and put them through the paper shredder. The shredded paper created a colorful confetti that plumped up the bags and kept the gifts protected. Tammy Baker from Joliet, Illinois. A mess-free trick for keeping the tree hydrated. This year, the full Christmas tree is gorgeous, but keeping it watered without spillage is a challenge. Here's an easy way to make sure it doesn't go dry. Just fill the tree stand with ice cubes. 2 trays equals about a quart of water, which is sufficient for an average tree. Add more than the taller... Add more... Where's it at? I just lost my place. Okay, just fill the tree stand with ice cube. Okay, 2 trays equal about a quart of water, which is sufficient for an average tree. Add more for the taller evergreens and eliminate spills for guaranteeing the tree stays hydrated. Ice-proof your walkways. The icy snowstorm is in the forecast and you just realized that you ran out of all rock salt. To the rescue, baking soda. Simply sprinkle the kitchen staple on the outdoor surface before precipitation begins. Since the sodium bicarbonate lowers the freezing point of water, it prevents ice from forming. The bonus that because the baking soda is less alkaline than rock salt, it won't corrode concrete surfaces or damage grass. The show how. It shows that you can use a muffin tin as a genius way to serve holiday drinks. And the money saver is deodorize a dishwasher for pennies. With all the use it's getting over the holidays, your dishwasher is getting a bit spotty and stinky. No need for special cleaners, just fill a mug with 1 cup lemon juice, place in the top rack, and run the dishwasher on steam dry. The lemon citric acid would dissolve the deposits and neutralize the odors, and you save $5 for dishwashing cleaning tablets. Okay, the Life Smarts is in the home section, and it says, let leftovers help others. The happy feeling of giving doesn't have to stop after the holidays if you, quote, toss outs, end quote, enjoy a second life benefiting kids, animals, and more. You can transform holiday cards into smiles for children. You love the sweet sentiments in holiday cards, but once the season is over, they quickly turn into clutter. Yet you don't like throwing them away. The feel-great solution? Donate them, suggests Stacy Henderson, founder of recycling and repurposing site forzilch.com. One excellent option, St. Jude's Ranch for Children, which is stjudesranch.org. They take old holiday cards and redesign them into brand new ones that they can sell with proceeds going to St. Jude programs for children in need, says Henderson. You can also check with local retirement homes and hospitals. Many of them accept old cards for craft projects. Transform wrapping paper into next year's joy. If you love picking out new gift wrap every season, consider donating this year's gift extra rolls to your local Toys for Tots. The organization starts preparing gifts long in advance for Christmas, and your donated wrapping paper and unused bows will help them get a head start. Women's shelters and church that offers Adopt a Family program are also great options. As for used gift wrap, just roll up the scraps and stick a balled up paper between the ornaments when storing them, says Henderson. The paper isn't bulky, so it won't take up a lot of room, and it will prevent decorations from getting damaged. Transform your Christmas tree into a wildlife sanctuary. Now, your town may offer to pick up your tree, but that's not the only way to repurpose it. Just remove the tinsel ornaments and garland. Feel free to leave untreated popcorn or cranberry garland, and then add a few scraps like vegetable peels and fruit rinds. Place it out of the way of your yard to create a critter buffet. This is for deer, bunnies, and more. Over time, the tree will break down and fertilize your plants. You can also contact zoos. Recycled trees can be sunk into the lakes for habitats for fish or given to elephants to play with, says Tim O'Connor of the National Christmas Tree Association. Visit humanesociety.org or americanzoos.info for more information. Delicious acts of kindness. You have extra candy canes, why not brighten a soldier's day? Operation Gratitude is well known for sending donated Halloween candy to soldiers overseas, but our heroes enjoy Christmas sweets too, and they would love an extra candy cane. Find more information at operationgratitude.com. Extra fruitcake? Feed the hungry. Prepackaged goods, be it a store-bought fruitcake or brunch basket your friends sent you, are welcome at the food pantry and homeless shelters. Find one at feedingamerica.org or whyhunger.org, and that's whyhunger.org. Extra holiday cookies? Bring joy to family. Women's shelters often take donations of holiday cookies. You can send them to organizations like the Light of Life Rescue Mission, lightoflife.org, which gives them to at-risk families. Whew. We've got a total of 4 more pages to finish this magazine. Okay, this is Money Smarts in the home section. Score last-minute presents for less. Last year, 79% of Americans spent up to $2,000 shopping for gifts at last minute. Here's the pros that reveal how to purchase presents under the wire without breaking the bank. Snap up streaming deals. I'm just going to read over lightly. You can pick up the book to read it yourself. Divvy up bulk sets. Get 75% off here. Nab half-off advent calendars. Go low-cost convenience. 0 on the dollar gifts. Hit the supermarket for inexpensive flowers and gift a subscription hassle-free. Okay. The power of love. It's with faith, hope, and kindness, nothing is impossible. Marcia Hinneman was devastated when she lost the memory book that chronicled her life with her husband, Dan. But just when she lost hope of ever getting it back, a Christmas angel worked a miracle. Marcia had spent 20 years compiling a journal full of the family history. And it shows a picture of her and her husband, Dan, who wed in 1969. They shared 30 years of love-filled years together. She wanted grandkids to know that how wonderful he was. Marcia Heineman was settling into her airplane seat when suddenly she gasped in horror. "Oh no, my book. I left my book in the terminal." Calling over the flight attendant, she begged them to allow her to go back, but the door to her homebound flight from Florida to upstate New York was already locked and couldn't be reopened, she was told. "My whole life is in those pages. How could I be so careless?" the 72-year-old widow sobbed. I'll be right back with you. I have got to go take a Benadryl.